Hi guys. Let's wait a little bit more, just maybe a few persons more, and then we can start. In the meantime, let's have a cup of tea. My favorite black tea. Okay, I see now more people, so I think we can start and just whatever I can repeat later. So welcome back to my channel, Matryoshka Tips. I'm Anastasia, and well, I just decided to honestly do this live stream just so we can get to know each other better, and I can explain you some maybe details about my channel, about my Patreon, or any questions maybe that you want to ask. I don't know, about relationships. Well, you're welcome. So, first of all, I am so glad, well, whoever's watching me right now, thank you. Thank you. Hi, Martin. Hi. So, today is very hot outside. Here where I live, so hot and humid, but I'm drinking my hot tea anyway. Okay. Well, I hope that whoever is watching me are my subscribers, and if not, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. My channel is about, well, relationships, advice to men. My main audience are men, and even a little bit of women. So, hi. Girl, I know we're able to have a phone call conversation on Friday evening. Any tips on what to talk about? Well, it depends how long have you been known that girl, if you've met her before, if it's the first phone call. And if it is, well, just, okay, maybe it sounds so silly, but try to be yourself. Not to pretend anyone like you are not to be, because it's going to be later, you know, kind of a disappointment for her, because eventually you cannot pretend all the time. But it just, the conversation will flow. I mean, if there is like a click between two of you, like even some simple questions about the weather, or like how was your day and what did you do today. I mean, if she's really interested, she's gonna be happy to reply and ask something in return. I think you right away you can just know and tell when it works and when it doesn't. But again, give me maybe more details. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm using the microphone, not like last time with the phone. Also, thank God that well, not my, but the gardener on the territory just stopped making noise. I was like, I chose the bad moment, but hi everyone, guys. So, which part of the world? Yeah. Well, you guess, with me being Russian and with my accent. Well, with the weather, no. Right now I'm living in Mexico. So yeah, in a hot part of Yucatan, Peninsula Yucatan. Very humid, hot, like almost all the year. Hot. We just enjoy probably like a few months in January and December, maybe February, when it's like fresh and sometimes even cold. But other months are like pretty heavy without air conditioning. But anyway, I enjoy it because the beach is near, and people in Mexico are very friendly. And well, I consider Mexico my home, but you never know what happens next. You know, I don't. Well, I consider maybe moving one day. That's what I wanted to say. Okay. You've been known her for 4 years and yet first call in a while. Well, then you probably already know how, well, you know the conversation that you can have with her, no? even by texting, maybe voice messages that you've had. I think you shouldn't be worried. I mean, it's gonna be fine. I'm sure that if you're worried, if you're, like excited, nervous, she is as well, believe me. You love Tulum. Well, Tulum is considered a place of, I think maybe it's for vacations only is a good place, but not for living. And also they are right now saying that Tulum lost like tourism basically because the prices are over. I mean, they've gone too high, and well, no one, because of that, a lot of businesses they had to close, and etc. So, also, it's not a safe place, but it's not about Tulum that we're talking today. Thank you, Alexander. Nice to meet you. So the last couple of weeks, the type of content changed from how to date women into more tips and tricks for women about men. I like both. What is the reason for this change? Hi, Denise. Honestly, I'm just, well, since my channel is very new, a small one with just basically 20,000 followers, I think I'm still like on the way to find myself, and I started the channel with the idea of like giving tips like how to meet woman, like all signs that you see in a woman and blah blah blah. And I decided to try to add something new and see how my audience responds to this. And I see that you like it, and I like it that you like it. So I am, well, maybe try to like balance both, like make videos like, again, continuing where I started about tips, I don't know, science, and at the same time, well, I think these videos are not only, well, not for women. I mean, my audience are men, and it's my goal to have men's audience mostly. But I think these videos also help some men to see things that maybe are obvious for someone else, but not obvious for the person, who's in the relationship right now, who's maybe struggling, suffering. I don't know, maybe they're like having toxic relationships, or when the couple is not treating him well, I don't know, disrespect and everything, right? Because, well, everyone cheats, women and men, like half and half, I would say. So there are no angels and saints here. So I hope that my videos, that actually, on the first place, they help men to see the truth, to give support, because, well, we live in the world where, yeah, from men, we expect a lot from men. It's like automatically a man is a provider, a man is, I don't know, defender, and so on and so forth, and woman is this, and this, and the roles are changing. I think we have the right, and men and women have the right to know, to see like, take both sides. Well, my point is that men deserve all the care, all the respect that deserve women. So, any Halloween plans? I don't know. I've never really celebrated Halloween since I was born in Russia and grew up there. It's not like our typical holiday, from our culture. Yes, it was. It probably is still maybe popular among teenagers. Maybe some young people, like, go into the clubs. Oh, today's Halloween. Like you can dress up as, I don't know, ghost and something else. But our church is really strong in Russia, so the church tries to like eliminate all these like American traditions from Russian culture, like St. Valentine's Day, Halloween. I'm not sure, but at least St. Valentine's Day, they think they have forbidden, I think, some time ago. probably the same happened with Halloween. So it's a shame. Oh, no way. I mean, it's like when, yeah, I think I'm back, right? Sorry, guys, but well, you never know here. Okay, great. Well, okay, I wanted to mention, yeah, thank God. Honestly, I have to, can I complain a little bit? Yeah, we've been having a lot of problems. It's like having problems with internet, electricity here. It's so normal with water. That eventually you actually get used to this, but it's not okay. That's what I want to say. And well, especially those moments when you want to do live stream. Okay, so I wanted to mention about my Patreon. I wanted to explain you the details. Maybe someone is not familiar, but I have Patreon and I always try to mention it in my videos. At first I was doing it at the end of the videos. Now I'm doing it at the beginning of the videos. So like, because well, not everyone, finishes all the video. I understand that, I do it myself sometimes. But the point of my Patreon, let me explain you. First, it's a way of support from your side to mine, and it helps me a lot. Thanks, guys, because well, there's actually one tier that doesn't really give you any content, but it's just a symbolic payment of $2 that helps me. Then, actually, let me open my Patreon to tell you. And then there is another one that costs $10. You can chat with me directly there. You send me private message and I respond it daily. So let me explain you what is it that we can talk about that, because I've been getting several messages about that don't include any relationship topic, and it's about me. Well, this is like, I am probably gonna put it as a rule, a strict rule, that I have the right not to reply when the questions are not about relationship, because this is the point. If you have a question, you need an advice, and I'm here to help you. So you can subscribe to that tier and send me a personal message about your relationships, maybe some doubts that you've been having, maybe something about the online profile and on the dating website. And actually, I've been helping guys like with photos. They were asking me like, what's the best? And there is actually a big difference, guys, that I can tell you how men choose good photos and women. And I think it's very important here, at least, to have maybe a friend or someone who can give you an advice, like, this is good, this is not good, because it's very important. Photo is one of the most important things in your online profile. It's the first thing that a woman sees, and it's just because there are a lot of profiles variety. A lot of men, right? A woman enters, and photo can actually, this is the decision that she takes when she sees, oh, the photo is like not clear, or like it's not good, but maybe the man is a good person, maybe it's just her destiny. But when she sees the photo that she doesn't like, of course it's, well, I'm gonna check next one, right? That's how it works usually. But when you're like, okay, there's something interesting about him, or like, oh, let me have a look, and she enters the profile and she reads your bio, which is another important thing to make it like good, presentable, she's like clear that what you want, what you expect from women, etc. So that's what I do. I give advice. I will give you an advice if you need about your online profile, bio, photo, or any other advice about the relationship, not something personal about me that you want to know. I just let's respect each other. Oh, thank God, almost everyone is very respectful. Oh, I love tea. So Next tier, also there's one more detail that since my channel is been growing, and I'm very glad and I'm so happy about that, right? And I expect it to grow more eventually and more. Let me get closer. I see that with the requests that I'm getting right now already, it's a lot, and I'm trying to reply anyway on time, have a conversation, constant conversation. Anyway, I see that with getting more subscribers, I won't be able to reply to everyone on time, and which is very important for me. So I think soon enough I will be increasing the price. I'm not sure what price is that. I'm just still planning and thinking how to do it, but I will do it only because I won't be able to respond to all the requests. So that way I can reduce maybe the quantity of persons, but like leave the quality. I mean, so I can give you my full support and help. Well, for now the price is going to be $10, but later I'm not even sure when. I'm just starting to feel a little bit heavy. So as far as I can keep it that way, I will. But when I see and when I feel that it's too much of work, because besides Patreon, it's creating content, it's creating scripts, it's a lot of work that you need to do. So I hope, well, for your understanding. But well, for now, you can take advantage and subscribe if you need my help. So the next tier is, let me give you, well, the description that I put there. Get the benefit to chat directly with me, and I will give you daily responses to your questions. In addition, you get access to exclusive videos plus 2 new videos every week. I cover topics like dating overseas, Slavic or Eastern European women, other topics of videos not available in YouTube. Well, for now, what I do, for example, the last sentence is that okay, my main idea of that tier is an exclusive content that I share frequently with you about meeting Eastern European women online. Most likely, that's what happens. Well, very rare, but it happens that you can meet a woman from Eastern Europe in your own country, but probably because she moved years ago or she moved because of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, right? So that's where I can help you, because I'm myself a Slavic woman, Russian woman, being born, raised, lived there for a long time until I moved abroad. So I understand women, I know the traditions, I know the culture. Of course, this is my personal experience. Of course, I see it from my perspective as a woman, but so far the videos that I've done, I mean, I really, I mean, this is how it is. These are the things that I talk about. They are completely truth. So I invite you to, if you're interested in meeting a Slavic woman, I invite you to subscribe to this tier, to see the videos, because it's very important to get to know not just the woman online that you want to meet, eventually live with her, but to know her, to get to know her culture, friends, family. And for that, I think my videos can help you a lot, because it's like meeting a person from another world, because that's how it is, that's how the things are. We're totally different from Western culture, where, you know, this feminism is growing, and a lot of men, actually, that's why they start to look for a woman abroad, specifically in Eastern European countries like Russia, Ukraine, Belarus. But I think it's very important to know details, because that's where you can avoid a lot of conflicts, fights, and problems. Some things that you may consider rude, they are not rude in her culture or country, and the opposite. So, well, yeah, I think it's very important, and it's like nice thing to do. You know, prepare yourself. It's like you're preparing yourself to take an exam. So that's where I can help you. You're welcome. And besides, I reply your messages as well. And there is one more tier, the last one, the most expensive one. It's $100, and let me explain you why it is expensive. You get a video call with me. once a month via Zoom or other just that besides their Google Meet, right, Zoom and other things. So where we talk about, well, relationship, you can ask me everything like where I'm doing right now, right? But you will be asking me whatever you want during 1 hour, and well, whatever you want is, I mean, relationships, advices about women, Eastern European women. That's what I've been doing with other guys. And well, that's basically the point of the last tier. Because also, well, I think it's, for some people, I see that it's important to talk, not just texting and chatting, and that's great. I think you have like more of more connection. You can really see what the person wants, feels, so it's like you can catch it, and I can ask the question, well, you know how it is, right? It's like basically personal conversation, you know, one-to-one, and chatting. Video helps, definitely helps, but it's up to you guys. So I hope that everything is clear. Wherever, well, you're welcome to ask me questions right now in the messages. Let me go back to the messages. And in the meantime, also I can maybe tell you something about the Russian culture, maybe all traditions, Slavic women, if you're interested. And actually, let me tell you guys, there are a lot of guys who's interested in meeting Eastern European women, and I understand why. They are the ones who tell me this. I don't know if you can hear, but my dog is eating his treat. It's a cute noise, his teeth. I don't know if you can hear it through the microphone. It's very cute. He's right in front of me there. It's a girl, Lily. Oh, thank you for the color of the nails. Actually, once someone said like, oh, red would be cool. And I'm like, yeah, I've never done red before, but I think it looks pretty. Thank you. Hi, Alexander. You're saying that your wife is kind of like close to share, right? As far as I understand, she doesn't want to share the details of her childhood and insecurities. You know, I can tell you that it's very common for Slavic women. I can tell you that I've been learning how to share myself when I moved to another country. It's something that is kind of typical, and let me explain you why. Why we Russians in general, well, we talk about women today, right? And you're asking about your woman. Why is it like that? I think it all comes from the Soviet Union, its traditions, its propaganda that they used to have, how like feelings, all this, you know, it's like, how can I explain it? This was very normal to grow like that. Because people, they had a very hard life after the World War, the Second World War, and Russia. Well, Soviet Union was one of the the first one who been destroyed, right, with the loss of so many millions of people. So the country, there was no time. How can I say it? There was no time for feelings, for emotional. You know, like for relationships, there was like a family, father, mother, and kids, but parents, they used to work a lot, and they just didn't have time for all these, you know, like being sweet, nice, supportive, you know, talking. You worked a lot, you needed to earn money, both parents, they used to work, so the kids were like away from parents basically sometimes for a whole week. It was pretty common in the Soviet Union when they left the kids, and there were like special kindergartens where you see your parents only on weekends because they just literally had to work all day long. or you leave your kid in the morning, and I was one of those kids. But it was already not the Soviet Union, but still these traditions, they still exist. They are not like gonna go away, like just because Soviet Union, broke. This past, it has this culture, it still exists among Russian people. So all these, like being like very, how can I say, know how to say it in Spanish, but in English, no. Like not sharing, for me, that was pretty normal because my parents were kind of cold, like saying, I love you, talking about something, like, resolving the issue by talking. A lot of people, they just simply don't know how. It's more like of fighting or simply ignoring or just staying silent, quiet. So I'm sure it's not that she doesn't want, it's just that she doesn't know how to do it. And for me, for example, it took a while and still I'm learning. It's very hard when you grow up in one environment and there are persons that appear in your life and they are different. And you just don't know how to share, you just don't know maybe how to say it, how to ask for help, And all this, I mean, these were like the traditions and normal things from in Soviet Union, but still they are like following a lot of people. Though it's changing, definitely changing. So that's my opinion. That's my perspective. It's like how they used to say like sex doesn't exist in Soviet Union. There's a lot of things they didn't exist. I mean, they didn't accept it, and I think it was not right, but unfortunately it happened. It's part of our history, and well, we just can change ourselves. Okay. Thank you, John. Well, I try definitely at least one message I will reply, of course, daily, because there are several people, and when you try to reply everyone, and if the person online, if he starts to text you again, well, I'm trying, I'm doing my best. So thank you. Yeah, this culture, it's I still for example, me living among Mexican people are very friendly, very smiley, like Americans. Well, of course it depends on the state where you live in Mexico, but for me it was very weird when I moved in, and when I moved to the country, seeing a person who smiles you and just because, no reason. For a Russian, for a Slavic person, it's serious face, and if someone smiles at you, this is considered as like he's crazy. Why is he smiling at me if he doesn't know me? That's what we think. And I honestly prefer this Mexican traditions and American. It's like, hi, how are you doing? This polite talk of asking how are you, even if you don't really mean it, but or like, oh, you're doing a good job, or like, oh, have a nice day. All these things, they just make your day better. But let me tell you, Slavic people are not bad because you see them very serious and maybe they seem rude at first. We're not like that. But this like mask, we're just direct, and sometimes it's considered rude for foreign people. But for us, it's the opposite. It's like being direct is better than pretend, than being too polite with not knowing how to say no or the truth. For us, it's like, if you ask me for advice, I will tell you directly, and for example, here in Mexican culture, the interesting thing is that they expect you to say only good things. So it's something that is very difficult to get used to, but honestly, I like it more. It helps you to move on with your life with some kind of like easiness. I don't know if I explain myself well. Sometimes you have a bad mood, problems in your life, and it helps. It helps when a random person looks at you in the supermarket and smiles at you. It helps when someone says good morning, which it's something that is not typical in Russia, but it doesn't mean that we're bad. With friends, with people that we know, we are very helpful. This is where like a Slavic person is, he will help you if he is your friend, sometimes a random person. this is like where the good comes. We're very supportive with people we love, you know. But okay, let's come back to the messages. Well, unfortunately for now, okay, I see the question and I think it's very important to reply. Did you study psychology or sociology or self-taught? I'm curious how you learned so much. Well, thanks. I hope that it's is a compliment. No, unfortunately for now, I don't have any studies. I actually graduated from, I studied economics, international economics, and something that is for me, well, unfortunately at that time, I didn't have a choice. And I thought that maybe studying this exactly subject will help me to make a career. But right now, I understand that I was always curious and interested in psychology. And I'm seriously planning myself on studying something, get some certification, like maybe building a career. From now, what I share in my videos, and probably it's very important for me to mention that at the beginning of the video too, that I give advice from, of course, my perspective, from life experience, from studies that I read on the internet, from, well, basically the world, the people that I see, that I live with or I talk to, and well, that's how all this, comes together. But of course, it's always from my perspective, my opinion, and unfortunately for now, I cannot back it up with my own studies, like, saying that I am a psychologist and I know that this is right for 100%. Of course, you always have a choice yourself. You see my video and agreeing or disagreeing with it, and well, you have the right. But yeah, so for now on, I'm just on the way of deciding what am I about to do. But I think it's gonna be cool. Oh, hi, Slavic guy. What's your name? Because I'm not sure if it's your name or it's just a nickname that appears in the chat. What kind of tea? Well, the tea, I mean, the tea that I'm drinking, it's black tea. It's whole leaves, whole leaf tea that I order online. Here in the supermarkets, they don't sell anything like that. It's like, if you're lucky, you can get the tea bags. But this is, let me show you. Well, this one is like a little bit crushed. They are not actually whole leaves, but they are like small particles with lemon, of course, lemon. That's how Russians. I actually don't know if other Slavic countries, I mean, of course, Ukraine too, Belarus probably, but other Slavic countries, if they drink the same way. I'm curious, and just this is my cup of tea. No sugar, some cookies from Costco. They're very delicious. Let me have a bite. Привет, привет. К сожалению, пока не собираюсь, хотелось бы. Но из-за того, что сейчас творится, не могу. У меня город как раз находится на границе, к сожалению. Аэропорт закрыт. Ехать туда страшно на самом деле. Поэтому пока здесь. Очень хочется приехать к друзьям и к семье. Но пока не могу. Just that I've been asked if I miss my... if I'm not coming back to visit my country, and I would love to, but unfortunately my city is right in the frontier with Ukraine, and it's very dangerous to go there. I'll just hope that one day everything is over. But yeah, the airport is closed, and people, unfortunately, well, I don't know if I actually can mention this in live stream, but bad things happen to people, to citizens, and well, we're even considering to move my mom to another place, but it's very hard for a person who lived all her life, in one place and moving to another one. But fortunately, it's still no changes. Ah, okay. Hurricane. That's how you read your, that's how it's pronounced. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. Real men have soft hearts but are hard on the outside. Yeah, that's totally true. Actually, that's Slavic people are like that in general, women and men. It's an interesting thing. Ah, okay, you're gonna tell me your name. Okay, let's get monetized. Well, good luck then with your career in YouTube. How do you meet a Russian woman? I hear that they might not like people just walking up, smiling, and saying hi. How do you meet a Russian woman? Well, it depends on where you live because, well, for example, in the United States, there are a lot of Slavic women that live there, that move, especially for this past few years because of the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. A lot of people moved, a lot of girls, women, single. Unfortunately, a lot of families have been broke basically because of that, because men, they couldn't leave, for example, Ukraine. And actually, that's what happened to my cousin, because I have family in Russia as well as in Ukraine. And my cousin, she was married and she has a kid and she had to run away. She went to Europe. Then she came back to Ukraine, but in the other place, like further from the frontier. That's where she used to live. So eventually she had to get divorced, the husband, because, well, they started having problems, the distance, the relationship. It's one of the things that, unfortunately, for a long time, relationship on distance, they don't work. At one point, it's, well, it was like jealousy from his side, and he didn't like the fact that she had to leave, but she was very scared. She moved out of fear, and he had to stay because he couldn't leave the country. But okay, coming back to the question, sorry. So yeah, in the United States, there are a lot of right now Slavic women, but of course you're right. It's not like you're gonna go out on the street and saying hi. It's like, ah, you're Russian. Okay, nice to meet you. No, the most convenient and the best way is to meet them online. I'm honestly against those websites, well, not websites, the apps, you know, like Tinder and Bumble and all these, you know, similar. They are mostly for a one-night relationship, which I do not support really, but it's up to a person, right? Sometimes because of your lifestyle, that's what you want, right? Expect. But we're talking here about long relationships, right? So I would look for a more reliable website, and there are several of them, but I'm not going to promote them right now. I can advise one, and I usually advise this website specifically in my Patreon when I talk to guys and they ask me, because I know I've been known and I've been told about positive experience from these particular websites. But mostly, if you look for something, you of course check in reviews, ratings, because there are a lot of scams, definitely, and you know, they're like bots basically, or like you start talking to a woman and turns out that she's like rejecting the video calls, which is like a red flag, definitely, because if you are interested to get to know a person, well, the video call is something like the next step, and it's totally normal, right? It's like you need right away to think that something is going on here, or if they ask you for money, or every single step is like you need to pay for it, like for every message. This also is not fine. I think mostly, usually, is that you pay for your profile to appear maybe at the top of the list. Yes, I think it's fine to pay the in this case, but not like for every single message, or like for, you know, like when she doesn't want to have a video call with you. It's well, a lot of scammers, and that's what I've been told actually recently by one of my fans in Patreon, that he also like felt that it was some kind of like weird that she didn't want to have video calls. There's like needed a special permission. was very weird. You talk, text each other, and if you understand that you want more, you want to move to next step, you can just exchange, I don't know, Skype or WhatsApp or something like that, and then talk without any like restrictions, like, oh, you cannot um, send extra message, you need to pay, or like, oh, you cannot talk outside of the website, this is not good. So basically, yes, online is the best way to meet someone. Sorry. Yeah. It's too many messages, spam from the guy, a little bit annoying. Sorry. So the best is meeting her online. That's where the good bio, as I mentioned before, photos are so important. Good photos and good bio that really describe you. And there are some tricks and details that I see that men don't know about, but not because they are bad or silly or anything. Just we see it from different sides, women and men. And as a woman, I can advise you how to choose photos. And actually, I remember even talking to my friend, a man, and he's like, "Oh my God, we made like even an experiment, like choosing. There were like photos of him, and he's like, "Oh my God, I would never choose those photos." And then he's like, "Well, actually, I agree, they are good. I mean, he chose one, few that I would never choose, and I chose others that are good, clear. It's, that's why I mentioned at the beginning of the live stream, always, if you have a girlfriend, a friend, a woman, who can advise you, who can help you choosing photos, that would be great. It's really, really necessary, I think, a woman's eye. Maybe not your mom, like more of a colleague or a woman, yes, a friend. Because for our parents, we're always the prettiest, right? Boys and girls. Mom cannot be really, honest. And not because she doesn't want, it's just that for a mom, her son is the best one, right? The most handsome. Okay. I can't find any information that I trust. You mentioned that you heard there were a few possible websites. You mean about online dating? As I mentioned, I can recommend at least one, but always look. Right now, it's not like I'm agitating you, just subscribe to my Patreon, and that's where I'm going to tell you. I'm not sure, honestly, I'm not really familiar if I can share it here. So I'm not going to risk, because what if I'm going to get in troubles? I know one website where I really know true examples where people met, and she moved, a Slavic woman, and they've been living together. That's how she met her husband. I know there are a few examples from specifically this website, so I can recommend it because I know positive experiences. But anyway, you can investigate it yourself. Right now we have artificial intelligence, where you can ask like, oh, ChatGPT, let me investigate like these websites and give me all the, are there any bad reviews or something, and he will be like, okay, look, these people share on Reddit or somewhere else. So right now we're like, there's so many available things that help you, So I am sure there are other websites that are reliable, that are not scams. But anyway, even on this website, for example, that I can recommend, I'm sure that there are scammers, that there are bots, because it just they are everywhere, unfortunately. And here it comes where you need to be careful always. It's the first thing is that if she asks for money, a woman will never ever ask you for money. I would never ask a man that I don't really know, that I maybe just texting in online website, a dating website, for money, even if I have troubles. Even I really, I don't know, there's like an emergency that I need, I don't know, for surgery or something. I will never ask a man that I don't really know. I mean, never ask about money. I have friends, I have family, I can resolve it myself, but maybe I can share, like, I've been having troubles and this is what's happening, but never I will like, can you help me? This is a red flag, definitely. It's no, I wouldn't trust that woman right away. I wouldn't. Then again, rejecting a video call, another thing that is very weird, and it's the opposite, that she will be glad. Okay, maybe there's one thing that, yes, important to mention. Maybe the person is shy. Maybe she is very I don't know, like maybe she thinks that she's not going to be that pretty in the video call. Maybe she speaks very poor English, and when you text, you, of course, you use I don't know, translator. Also, you have time to respond, to make a right, correct sentence, all these things. And when you meet, basically in person, it's different. You are nervous, you forget basically the words, and if it's another language, yes, maybe one of the things that, like, she can hesitate. But here you can behave like a gentleman, of course, not right away like, you don't want, bye. But being like more supportive, understanding, like, okay, I respect, but well, anyway, I mean, this is something that very necessary eventually has to happen, right? The video call, you cannot just text forever, but give her like time and let her know that, okay, I'm willing to wait. Just don't worry. I mean, even if you speak bad English, like saying some words of support, like maybe even making a joke, like, don't worry, we can use, maybe there, I think, like even translators, like literally, that you can say something and, well, again, probably using artificial intelligence, right? Or there are apps that will translate whatever you say. So it's like, don't worry, just let her know that you're fine and you are not expecting her to be like a native English speaker. Because I remember myself, and I was very struggling with starting when speaking, because I've learned English. I mean, I've been learning it from school, from the first grade. But the thing in Russia, well, what happens is that we learn how to read, we learn grammar, but we don't learn to speak. We don't practice it too much. So even when you graduate, I mean, school or university or wherever, and when the time comes to speak, that's when you are like, I mean, it's hard. And that's what happened to me too. I had like a contract with one confectionery in Russia, in my city, and they were installing some new equipment, special ovens, so producing cookies. So there were several foreigners, specialists from different countries, who came to make all this machine. The line, it was like a big line of equipment. It was Austria, Netherlands, several persons. All of them, they spoke English, and of course they weren't natives, and it helped me a lot. But anyway, that's when I understood that I cannot speak. I was like literally learning. I mean, I had it here in my head, but to put it here like out of your mouth, it was very hard. So you need time. That's what I mean. She needs time. Even if she speaks poor English, don't understand that it will need some time for her to practice, to get used to it. Also, it's not like you use English every single day in Russia or another Slavic country, right? So it's fine. But when she's like never, like, when you feel, I would give you like, this is the best advice. When you feel something is weird is going on, that it's like seems that it's something is going on, that it doesn't seem. Something is really going on. I mean, we don't trust your gut, or how do you say it? Usually it's like we see those red flags, but we don't pay attention to it really. We are like blinded by like, oh, I met perfect woman, you know, and you can right away see that it's like, ah, she's maybe bought scammer or just a real woman, but who just wants money from you. So it's probably the first things that you need to pay attention. Always. Doesn't matter if the website is very reliable or not. But of course, first, of course, check reviews, ratings online. It will help a lot. And also, let me tell you guys, it doesn't happen with everyone right away. Barely happens to anyone like that. It's like right away with the first, I don't know, request of interest, or how do you say it? Like when you see the profiles, you send like a request, right? And she replies, and you start texting. Most likely, it's gonna take some time. It's like normal dating, just online. You don't always meet someone right away. It's normal that you may have different interests, that you have some, I don't know, arguments later, and you understand that it's not your person. This doesn't mean that you're unlucky, just life, that's how it works. Sometimes, well, just that all the difference is that it's a long distance, and actually there are some things maybe you cannot see right away when you talk, when one thing is like meeting in person, and it's probably faster that you discover some personality things or issues in the person than, for example, online. But it's going to be fine. It's, I can tell you, it's if you really are interested in finding love abroad, it happens. It will happen. Just that if your intentions are true, if you're honest yourself, and not only women lie, right? I think it's great when, you know, like different cultures meet, when they create a family. It's not easy, of course. There are a lot of things that you need to consider, and actually I talk about these things in my videos. But it's great, you know, meeting a person from a different country, different culture, creating a family, having kids, and you know what they say, and it's completely true. I mean, the kids that I see from these like mixed families, they are so pretty, you know, they have these, like, how can I say, like a trademark, I don't know, there's something that, I don't know, this mix of blood, it's amazing. It's just a, a small detail that I noticed in the mixed families. Can I recommend a romantic movie? I don't know. I actually don't like romantic movies. I don't know why. It's usually when you cry, and I don't even remember which was the last one that I saw. I like more like this, I don't know, TV series or movies about, I don't know, like some kind of thrillers. Right now I'm watching Dexter, loving it. Especially it's very cool, you know, doing cardio on some machine, and while watching the episodes. Or you. Oh, sorry, I'm kind of thirsty from talking a lot. Did my parents teach you to be this way? Well, first thing, that what way? I'm curious, what do you mean by that way? And I'm like guessing if you mean like what, talking about relationships or giving advice, or, well, no, actually, well, let me tell you, my parents, my dad was a very cold person, kind of very limited in sharing his emotions, his feelings. I see it as a... It's my doggy, sorry. Hey, Lily. Hey. Tranquilos. Hey. I have 3 dogs, 3 dachshunds, by the way. Mini. Well, all of them are different sizes. 2 boys and 1 girl. And a cat that I adopted from the street. They play sometimes. So my father was kind of a cold person, and that's how was his family. this is the problem. It's it all comes from your parents, from your family, how they are always an example that you grow in that environment, and you basically then carry all these uh, things, behavior in the future. So never ever said I love you, all these kind of things that probably very important for a kid. My mom was also not some kind of very affectionate, like maybe when I was little, but the more I grew up, how can I call it, like limited in expressing themselves. But I think at the same time it helped me a lot to see that this is not something that is normal. Well, it's not normal. How can I call it, like not something that I want to have in my relationship, my, for example, family, and that's where I can work um, on. But it's not easy. Of course, it's something that you have like some kind of blocks, and of course it affects you with relationships, with your maybe couple, dating, yes, definitely, and the way you behave or resolving issues or arguments, or of course. But anyway, I'm very grateful from who I am right now, thanks to my parents. Even when there were some things that were missing, actually I am right now the way I am because of them, because they were like that way I grew up. Then I understood something has to be changed, and I'm working on it. So as long as you are ready to change it, you can do it. And let's be honest, I mean, we all grow up with traumas. I don't believe that there's any person that who can say like well, he can say that I'm totally fine and never ever had an issue, but we always have something inside us that bothers us, or like affect us in adult life. Oh, I haven't forced 10. Oh, I haven't watched that movie. Mm. One into my list. Where would you say is the best place to meet women in person? Well, I think, of course, public places where a lot of people are, I think it helps a lot to not to feel, we all feel, women and men, right? Probably even if you doesn't seem like that, some kind of like nervousness maybe when approaching to a woman or a man, right? And I think public place, a bar, maybe like some kind of a party, or maybe a public event when that's where it's a sorry, it's the noise from the gardeners. I think that's where the best thing to do it, because sometimes, for example, let's an example, gym. I cannot say that it's. Some people say that it's a cool place. That's like where the girls go all dressed up, and that they want to meet a man. That's why they dress up like that. I don't agree with that. I, as a woman, the opposite. I mean, I'm not interested to meet anyone at the gym because I don't wear makeup. I feel myself kind of insecure at that moment because I'm like sweaty. I stink most likely from doing, weight training, cardio. Here, my kitty. And this is the last thing I want to someone to approach me and say like, because it's like, oh my God, he approaches and I'm here sweaty and he will see it and I probably smell and I don't want him to smell me like that. But not always, of course. Sometimes it's when you see like some signs, or like you feel that the woman is staring at you, or you notice that for like a while, of course, maybe there's a good chance to approach to her, right? If that's the only place where you meet and you really like her. But I wouldn't say it's the best one. But again, women also dress up like, when you say like, oh, they are very, it's too provocative. I think women dress up like that not for men. They do it for themselves or for other women, because first it motivates you seeing you. Well, because gym clothing for women helps you a lot to look better, because it's very stretchy, and especially, you know, they make those leggings in the butt area where it lifts everything up. So when you take it off at home, you're like, could be better. But when you put on the leggings, it's like, oh wow, look at that. Motivates you. It motivates you so much when you see yourself like that at the gym. You want to work harder. That's what I wanted to say. So it's not always that a woman really wants someone to approach. It's just this. It's just a way of motivate herself. So, well, but that again is my personal opinion and like some experience from other girls. So, yeah, the best place I would see, I know, well, it depends on, right, if the person has a lot of friends and having parties, going to some public events, but public place is the best, where a lot of noise, that's how you just flow into this like crowd, and if you see someone that you like, well, just go take your chance. And believe me, nothing happens if she says no. The world is not over. Believe me, all of us, we went through that. Everyone, where you've been rejected, where we've been with broken hearts. It happened to me many times. And, just, well, sometimes you're like, remember all this. It's like, oh, this, I should have said that. All this happened. He did this. For example, let me tell you what happened to me once. It was many years ago. Many years old. It was in Russia, and I met a guy in the app. Because actually, I've been always a girl who doesn't go out too much in public places, like parties and everything was not like kind of my style. I had some friends, but didn't go out too much. So I understand that way. It's like, where else are you going to meet someone? For me, that was the best, is the app, online app. I met a guy. And well, I liked him, he liked me. First, we went out and just drank some coffee, which I think is the best thing to do on the first date, without going to like any expensive restaurant or something like that. Coffee is the best way. And I think if a woman doesn't want to go to drink coffee with you, I mean, that she's not, you know, looking for a man. She's probably looking for a wallet, or just to eat for free. I think this is the best place, is go into some coffee house, though. Well, there are like some nice really coffee houses where you can order maybe dessert, coffee, and have a very nice conversation without like too many expectations after, you know, and it's the best place. So we met, well, we drank coffee, then, well, next time he told me his story, that he broke up with a girl after a long period of time, and he's ready for a relationship, and I really liked him, and looked like he likes me too. So then we've been invited to a birthday of his friend, and we came there, and he introduced me to everyone, to his friends. It's like, oh, nice to meet you. Oh, you're so much better than his ex, and she was horrible, and blah blah blah. You know how it always happens. It's like they're like, oh yeah, he's a good guy, and blah blah blah. And then we even went, I remember, on a trip together, on some like camp trip or something like that, you know, with friends, and we had a very good time and everything. And I decided to publish a photo in my social network. At that time, it was VK. It's very popular in Russia. It's like something similar to Facebook. And I published a photo, and I remember I was at work, and he calls me and he starts yelling at me like, why are you publishing that photo without my permission? My girlfriend, she found out and she called me. I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't know that you have a girlfriend. And turns out that he didn't break up with her. They just fought. They had an argument, and that's how he decided, I don't know, to maybe revenge, or just maybe they had a small break. I don't know the details, but turns out that he was like still dating her, and somehow she discovered that I exist. She entered my profile, my page, and she saw a photo of two of us. And of course, we never talked again. And I'm like, how can you even know about that? I mean, I was like, I remember I'm sitting, there was the colleague in front of me and the table with the computer sitting here, and I'm like, this is what happened. And I was in shock because I really liked him. And turns out that I was like just for him as a thing to like kind of revenge. Of course, I was very sad. Of course, I had my own expectations for this guy. I thought that really liked him, I thought we had many things in common, but turns out that he didn't mean any of that. Of course, sadness, it's like, unlucky, but well, life was going on later, it's just an experience that it's like, okay, don't trust a guy right away, as well as like don't trust a woman right away. This is like a risk that you get when you meet someone. Doesn't matter online or in person. Unfortunately, a lot of women lie and they just cheat. So just shared my experience that, well, it happens, but it doesn't mean that your life is over. It's just something better is coming. That's what I wanted to say eventually. Yeah, I agree that the hate doesn't really define like, oh, if you there are a lot of short women, definitely a lot, and there are a lot of tall women, and it's just that you didn't meet that one. Maybe it's well, I would advise you to try online, definitely, because that's where you actually put everything about yourself, as well as the requirements and your like characteristics, as well as women. Because believe me, there are a lot of short women that are, for her, you're gonna be that tall guy. So I wouldn't call it like a very, very big problem. It's just a thing that you can work on looking for in a woman in the right place. Like maybe online could be your option. For example, for a Russian woman, I am like medium, between medium and tall. My height is, well, sorry, I can just say it in centimeters because, well, that's our metric system. In Russia, it's 168, 1 meter 68 centimeters. I'm like in between medium to tall. And I can tell you also that I cannot like say that we have a lot of tall guys. And I had guys, I remember, that were same height as me and never been a problem for me. And I even remember I had a girlfriend, who was kind of tall, and she had a shorter guy, like shorter, significant, like one her head or something like that. Probably it was like when she was wearing heels, so like that maybe. But I remember her saying, it's like, he's so proud when she was like, I'm so proud. I mean, that he enjoys it, like that we have, like, I am taller than him and I wear high heels. It's like they met. It's like perfect balance. Both of them were like, he was enjoying that his woman is taller, and she was enjoying so much that her guy was shorter. For her, it's not a problem. Again, I have another example of she's my godmother. Of course, she's already a woman in her age, but she used to was married with a guy who was like significantly shorter than her, and they were happy. And they got divorced not because of that, for another reason. But she never ever complained, neither him. So I think you can find your couple. You can. Dating apps, I agree. I don't really support the exactly meaning in dating apps. I would consider online dating websites. That's where you have more chances of meeting a real person. But believe me, I've seen I've heard many cases where people meet in Humble, I forgot, sorry, or Tinder, and they married eventually. They got married, so it can happen. It's possible, but of course you probably eat a lot of before. I want to say it like that. So it's still less chances, but it's possible. But yeah, I would go right away for some website. More chances to meet there, more serious women where you can choose. Well, guys, I see that we've been talking so long. I was like, okay, how many minutes passed? Like 40? But I think we have to finish already. I'm sorry, but I really have to go. Is the Well, it was nice meeting you all, and oh, sorry. And see you in the next week. Maybe I'll try to make another live stream. So if you enjoyed, subscribe to my Patreon, to my channel, and see you in the next live stream. Bye. Mwah. Bye bye.